Hello, Hornet Nation. Welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. I'm Joe Hutzler. Happy to be with you again this week. Now, before we get into our first guest of the show, let's go ahead and tell you how to name the Hornet. That's right. You are going to decide how we name this Hornet, what the name of the Hornet is going to be, our new mascot here at Lynchburg College, and you can do so by going to that web address on your screen, or you can just watch this video. You're going to go to your browser, which we're going to use Google Chrome in this instance. We're going to type in lynchburgsportsmedia.com/name the new Hornet. You'll hit enter, and you'll be directed to the LHSN home, our exclusive home of the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Once you do get there, you will have the opportunity to see that page naming the new Hornet. You'll see a picture of the new mascot, and you'll scroll down to the Submit Here button. Once you select the Submit Here button, you'll be redirected to our Google form in which you can give your email address along with the reasoning for your option for our name, and which will be voted for starting next week. Now let's move on to our first guest on the show, Miss Jaye Winemiller. Jaye, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Happy to have you along just because not you were an athlete, but you are actually working with LHSN now as well, and you're our social media coordinator, which is a fancy title, but I think it's very fitting for the job that you do here for us. If anyone watches Snapchat for game days, follow on Twitter, our Instagram as well, especially game day stuff, Jaye is the one behind the scenes, so putting a face with all the work here. First off, I want to know why you are interested in doing something like that.
I definitely think the marketing field is changing and progressing, and having a good solid base of social networking information would definitely help me in a marketing field and career. And then I think I maybe want to have my own business or work for a small business, and having the whole marketing and business background will definitely reinforce my ability to do so.
So what was something that sparked your interest in trying to go into a marketing field? Was it something when you were younger that really said, hey, this is something that I would enjoy?
Like a lot of freshmen, I was a little undecided when I came in, but both my parents had small businesses, so I knew maybe taking the business route would just be a good basic major that I could have a lot of options with. So, and then I found the marketing program and just fell in love.
Now, you actually had some practice this past summer as far as getting ready to take over our social media by doing the Instagram. Was it just Instagram, or did you have other accounts?
We had Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter, but we didn't use it all that much.
And this was for Jamaican Me Crazy, right? It was a place in Hilton Head?
Yes.
Where you spend a lot of your summer months at. What was the big takeaway from that experience that really helped you to come here and kind of not have to take a long time to train yourself? You already knew what was good and what was bad.
A big thing was knowing who you're marketing to. You know, there we're marketing to a lot of vacationers and stuff. Definitely worked on my people skills, because people would respond to the posts and stuff, and then I would have to act like in a professional manner, just like if they respond to something on the Lynchburg Sports, I've got to respond like in a professional way and everything. And then I also have to know who I'm marketing to here, mostly like students, parents, alumni. So just knowing who I'm talking to,
right?
You know, indirectly,
right?
So
well, you want views and likes and retweets and all that, so the whole world can see what we're doing.
But I also want to get my message across.
Of course. What's been the toughest thing about handling that role and being someone who sees that initial reaction of, hey, this isn't working, or someone that's not maybe happy with what's going on?
The hardest thing is maybe deciding how to handle it, you know, because I'm just a person, you know, like I get emotions too, and I just have to remember to handle it in a professional manner and respond the way I think like Lynchburg College would want to be presented. So
I think that's a very good point to make, especially for people who may be the ones tweeting at the accounts. That there is a person behind that account, so be careful with what you say because other people will see it. Outside of that, you have the pullover on from the national championship game. That is actually the big reason why you came here was because of that program. Take us through your story a little bit with coming into Lynchburg College, being a part of the women's soccer team, and now being still a part of it, but just in a different role.
So I came in as a freshman. You know, I was really intimidated by like just the level of play and everything. And I had suffered an injury in high school and I wasn't fully recovered freshman year. And so I talked with Coach Olson and he made me like a manager, assistant type position. And so I got to travel with them like the whole everything. I travel with them. Sometimes I play in practice. I lift with them. You know, I get like the full experience, and I'm definitely very grateful for it. You know, like it's been definitely life-changing and eye-opening, and something I don't take for granted.
That's a program that we've talked about a lot on LHSN as far as being a program that sets you up for success afterward. Why do you think that is? What do you think that Coach Olson and his staff do that maybe other schools, other programs don't do that allow you to be confident once you graduate and go out into the real world?
Well, one thing I did notice, you know, being from Pennsylvania, there are a lot of good Division III schools there. When I talked with coaches there, they really just cared about my soccer skill, my fitness, and like that was about it. And then when I came to meet with Coach Olson, he told me, like, yeah, soccer's some of it, but like I care about your grades, I care about your community service. Like he talked about mentoring the girls in Lynchburg, and then we also sponsor the girls in Uganda and everything. Right. So he cares about our soccer and everything, but he also really cares about us and our success as a person as well.
Soccer, school, and service. The
Exactly.
3 S's for women's soccer.
Exactly.
Last thing I want to bring up really quickly is just your family, because obviously you cannot do all the things you're doing without some support, and just the role that they've given you and maybe helping you see the path that you want to take.
Yeah, well, like I said, both my parents had small businesses, so they've definitely helped me like on the career path and everything. They have always they've really like fine-tuned me into a hard worker. You know, they made me do chores and everything. And then my aunt and uncle play a big role in my life as well. They're both great people. They're big role models for me. And then my sister, you know, she really supports me pretty much in everything I do. So, yeah, I definitely have a firm foundation when it comes to family. So
hugely important piece of information when you're trying to be successful in this world. Well, thank you so much, and thank you to your family for being so awesome at what you do and allowing you to come here and do great things for us. Thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jay. We'll be back right after this on the Weekly Sting with the Hornet Trivia question. Don't go anywhere. Good morning, Hornet Nation. Welcome to the Daily Buzz. I'm Joe Hutzler. A lot to get to today, as always, so let's get started. We begin inside with basketball, both men and women in action. The men were here and taking on the Hampton City Tigers. The Tigers looking for revenge from last year's loss in the ODAC tournament, but the Hornets had other ideas.
Lynchburg takes home the 2016 crown. Back to Foster, who just came out, now back in. A chance has begun it! Francis Foster wins the game in double overtime. And the pass is picked off by Vincent, who shoots it in! Joe Vincent from 3/4 field! The Hive has spoken, and Lynchburg wins!
Welcome back, everyone, to the Weekly Sting. Happy to have you along for the second edition of 2017. Before the break, we said we would tell you what the Hornet Trivia question is for this week, and we're going to get to that right now. The Hornet trivia question dealing with women's basketball, who won their 19th game last night this season with 1 game to go. So we ask you, how many times has women's basketball won 19 games or more in a season? I'll give you a hint. It's not a lot. We'll tell you the answer coming up later in the show. Now let's move on to our second guest of this show. It's a new member to Hornet Nation, getting ready for her first game on the sidelines, Miss Gracie Williams for women's lacrosse. Gracie, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Mentioned there that you are a new member to the Hornet Nation family. First of all, I'm very happy to have you along. Secondly, I'm interested to know what it's been like, the process for you coming to a new place and really just having to dive right in, helping out Coach Reed with women's lacrosse. Was the transition easier than you thought it might be, or was it still pretty difficult?
I was certainly nervous coming to a new place, but it was easier than I thought it would be. I was anticipating it to be really, really hard, but with all the great people that are here, especially Coach Reed, he's already taught me so much. But even more to my surprise was that the other coaches around here have been amazing. And so especially the men's soccer coaches and the women's basketball coaches. I know with the men's soccer we share an office and stuff.
Right.
And so being the only assistant, I've been able to lean on them for a lot of other things to learn too.
When you came in and you got that initial feedback from the coaching staff and everybody was, as they are, everybody's nice in the beginning, right? But one thing I think that is interesting here is that it seems to stay. It doesn't really go away. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's here to stay forever, and I definitely feel the support from them, and that's been awesome. And they've been kind of teasing me now that I've kind of found my way, that when we go back and forth in the office, I have a voice too. So if anything, it's been really fun.
Now, you are gearing up for your first season as a coach with this women's lacrosse team. Take me through your background a little bit and tell people why you're qualified to be an assistant to Coach Reed for this team.
Yeah, sure. So I come from a family of coaches, and so coaching is in my bloodline, and I love it. It's my absolute favorite thing to do. Playing-wise, I played Division I at Monmouth University and had a great career there. I was a captain my senior year, and so I had some leadership experience, and then last year I did my student teaching, and then I coached a little club team with these little younger girls, and then I coached a state runner-up lacrosse team as well at Bishop Ireton. So we won the WCAC, and then we were the runner-up for states, and so I had an amazing experience there, and just kind of taking everything that I've accumulated over the years and hopefully giving it to these Lynchburg girls.
That sounds like pretty good accolades to me to put you in this position. I know it's early in your coaching career, but you had a little bit there with the state runner-up team. Could you define what your style is right now, or what kind of coaching personality you have?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like to see myself as someone that's positive and a positive role model and influence to the girls. I like to think that I'm transparent and that I don't want the girls to think that I'm playing any games with them, but I tell how it is. At the same time, I'm their biggest fan, and I want to see them do the best that they can do, and I want to help them get there. I love games, I love practice, and I just love being on the field and teaching and explaining. So
you obviously are closer to that team than most people on this campus, so what would be a reasonable expectation for not just Saturday in your first game of the year, but what do you see this team is capable of the rest of the way?
I'll be right honest with you, I think we could ring the bell. I really do. I think it's going to take day by day, game by game, but these girls have it in them, and I think that they're going to be the ones that end up doing it, and that they're going to have to. But Coach Reed and I are trying to give them the tools, and we're envisioning things, we're practicing things that they'll see, and we want them to do that every day, so that come game time, it just happens naturally, and we're just really preparing for those 3 games in May. You
mentioned coming from a coaching family, you're coming from an athletic family as well, with your brother and your sister.
Yep.
I thought this was so amazing when you said this, that not only do you all play the same time of year, play spring sports, but you also in high school wore the same number.
Yep.
Everybody wore number 20.
Yep.
How did that work how did that work out, and what's so significant about 20?
So we always wore number 25 because that was one of my mom's players who she coached, her favorite number. When I got to high school, they didn't have 25. So they had 20. And we liked that it was divisible by 5, and so I started it, and then it carried on.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just a fun little tradition.
And your brother is playing baseball, correct?
Yeah, he's at Catholic University. He's a junior.
He's a Catholic, and your sister
Yep.
is playing women's lacrosse
At your alma mater.
at HPU. Yeah,
Yep.
So great choice, tremendous choice. How do you help them out? Because I'm sure there's a lot of talk between you three about
Yep.
not just being a player, but maybe if your brother or your sister's having maybe even some coaching issues, you can
Yeah.
steer them in the right direction on that. Do you have those conversations regularly?
Oh, absolutely. We text all the time, and we try to get to each other's games, and if not, that we watch online, and because we know how much that means.
Right.
Because we've all experienced it. And one of my dad's favorite lines is, you work hard, you play hard, and you do your best, and you have some fun. And so we kind of just keep that mentality, and that kind of carries through no matter what. And I just tell them that it's worth it, and that I'm really proud of them, and I just want them to succeed too.
Now, part of being a new coach and being on the show for the first time is getting to know that person. And I think we've done a good job of that overall. But outside of work, which was all we've talked about for the first 6 minutes, what else does Gracie Williams like to do hobby-wise?
I love to be outside. I love hiking. I've done Sharp Top and Crabtree Falls around here, so that's been really fun. I love yoga. And I love my dogs. We have 2 hound dogs, Johnny and Bailey, so I miss them a lot, but love walking with them and taking them on hikes too.
What is the attraction to yoga? Because maybe it's because I'm a guy, I don't know.
You know what? I love that it relaxes me, but you're getting a secret workout in there too.
A secret workout?
Yeah.
How is it secret?
Because you breathe, and you take your time, and you relax, and then all of a sudden, the next day you're sore. And you didn't realize it.
Okay. So I guess if you're okay with the next day feeling some pain, then it's all right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying I'm going to go out and try it because I've seen the positions and I don't know that I can do that. But I'll let you keep doing that and carry the flag here for all the athletic staff in terms of yoga. You mentioned your mom, who I didn't know until I saw some photos you sent. Is in the Hall of Fame for what?
She coached girls basketball. She started the girls basketball program at St. John's College High School in D.C.
Okay.
And so right now they're currently ranked 4th in the nation.
Whoa.
And so she started that right before she was pregnant with me. And so I grew up on the court, and so did my other siblings. And we grew up watching her coach, and it was just so much fun. It was like the best years of my life watching her do that and see the relationships and the legacy that she's left and everything that she built there. It makes me want to do that somewhere too.
So naturally, my next question would be, why lacrosse then? Why go outside and be on grass as opposed to the hardwood inside?
I know. So my little sister played, and then she finally convinced me to play when I was in middle school. And basketball translates a lot into lacrosse. True. And so even though my mom is a lacrosse coach at heart, she knows the game now, and so she's ready for it too.
We have seen coaches at our basketball practices here at Lynchburg. Yep. They'll come and watch the basketball team.
For sure.
Because it does
the defense and the motion offenses and the pressing and the press breaks. It's very, very similar.
It all meshes well together,
Yep.
for sure. Well, you have meshed very well on the Weekly Sting. You're so open and bubbly, and we're so happy to have you along.
Thank you.
We may have to bring you back on. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how this goes. I think next time some of the guys in the office probably want us to play a game too. So
they were talking about that earlier today.
So we'll help them out.
Shout out to them.
That's right. We'll help the men's soccer coaches out and do that next time.
Yeah.
Gracie, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Appreciate it. We'll take a break. When we come back, even more of the Weekly Sting. We'll have Daniel Rowe and the Hornet Trivia Answer.
And there it is, folks, the magic number 252. No one in the sport of soccer has won more than Bill Schellenberger. And she misses. Lynchburg's going to win the 2014 NCAA Division III Women's Soccer National Championship.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Weekly Sting here this week. Joe Hutzler with you. One final segment and one final thing to get to. That is the Hornet Trivia Answer. In the last segment, we asked you, how many times has women's basketball here at Lynchburg College won 19 games or more in a season? They just won last night, meaning they have 19 wins right now. It has been a total of 3 times, happening all 3 of the past years. 15, 16, and 17 are the only times they've won 19 games or more. And with that, I'll bring on Daniel Rowe, an analyst here for LHSN and roommate / partner in the office as well. Can't get away from this guy. First of all, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Good to see you.
Appreciate
Always a pleasure.
Let's start there with women's basketball. 19 wins, again, 3 years in a row now. They, yes, have struggled as of late, went losing 2 here in this month, but I still like their chances to win the whole thing.
Yeah, they've had a little up and down over the last few weeks. Overall, this season, they played fantastic. They really have a lot of good talent, a lot of good pieces that have been working together, both in the starters and coming off the bench. So I think this last little stretch has given them a little bit of things to work on heading into the postseason. But I think they have a lot to look forward to coming up next week. 12
different players last night scored for that team, so very tough to game plan against. On the men's side of things, 4 straight wins for them now, the longest streak they've had all year. Are they the hottest team in the ODAC?
I definitely think they're up there. I think the hottest team prior to that was Hampton-Sydney, and we knocked off Hampton-Sydney last night. So, won each of the last 4 games, which has been huge because that team hasn't had any consistency this year at all. And so those wins have been against good teams, Virginia Wesleyan being one of those. A nice win against a hot Hampton-Sydney team last night, and then a big game coming against number 1 Randolph-Macon this weekend. So looking forward to seeing how they're going to do on their senior day.
Now moving to another team that played yesterday, baseball, who has won 3 straight. They beat SVU again, as they did last week. This one, even more offense than we saw last week. You were there. You saw the game happen live. What's different in your mind from last year's team to this year's as far as them being able to actually bring the runs in?
Yeah, I think this year they've kind of come into this season with a little bit more open mind. They're just trying to go out there and have some fun and hit some baseballs and make some good pitches while they're out there. They're playing well defensively as well. All the pieces are just kind of mixing well together. Obviously, they didn't have a good first 2 games, but that happens early in the season. You're trying to figure out rotations and put players in the right places as far as batting and even out on the field. So the preseason here, or essentially preseason, is what I call a lot of these non-conference games, and then the real season is when you start getting into ODAC play, which we'll have here in a couple of weeks once they get into March.
Right. It's tough when you have 40 games. You're going to have have to have some time to get yourself together in terms of your rotations, but they look pretty good right now.
They do.
Another team that's going to be going this weekend, softball. They are actually going to be home on Sunday, but they got to go back on the road on Saturday. They're also a team that is looking for more consistency in the pitching department. I think we've heard a lot of good things, but a team it's just something we got to see, and hopefully we'll get to see that on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. I think they have a few good seniors, a few experienced upperclassmen that can really play well for them this year. I'm interested to see how they're going to do. I'll be calling the game on Sunday, so looking forward to seeing them on LHSN. And yeah.
It'll be fun to see them back here at home and get to show the whole world that awesome wall they have out there now with the banner. It looks so sweet. And let's go and kind of sort of finish here. Men's lacrosse on the road at F&M. They lost last week against Salisbury 9-8. We called that game, but even when it was over, it was like, you know what? We lost the number 1 team in the nation, but still feel pretty good about the way we performed.
Yeah, and this men's lacrosse team, don't get them wrong, they're not any moral victory kind of people.
No.
They're definitely out there to get the win, and we're very disappointed that they lost. But I agree, there's a lot of good things to look at that game. They've gone back and had a chance to look at film now and really got the chance to break down what they did right and what they did wrong. And playing a good F&M team this weekend, a very good program. Another tough game on the road, but has a chance to get together before they come back home here the week after that.
And you told me before the show, a great chance for that young group to bond even more when you go on a road trip like that. I heard the coaches this morning trying to figure out the room combinations, who's going to work best with who. So much more than that. You can find all the information at lynchburgsports.com. Of course, track is having an amazing year, records being broken every single week, so congratulations to them. You can keep up with all that, again, at lynchburgsports.com. And one last reminder, to name the Hornet. Put your name in the hat. Go to lynchburgsportsmedia.com/name the new Hornet to do so, and your name will be in the running as we end this part of it next Monday before we start voting on who those top 5 names will be. It's been a great time here with you this afternoon. We hope you have a tremendous rest of the week. I'm Joe Hutzler saying, remember, it's a great day to be a Hornet, and we are one nation.